So when you're in this spiritual realm on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, wherever you are, you're gonna see a lot of content about being a chosen one. Okay, a lot of people like to use these phrases and like this kind of tag phrase to draw you in. I want to tell you the truth about this, and also want to talk about a lot of other things today. But I want to tell you that number one, we all are the chosen ones, but the people who actually get to embody this energy of being chosen are the ones who decide to also choose their path back. Okay, now what the fuck does that mean? That means that we all have a path, we all have a purpose. God has an intention for everybody in your life. And actually, before I even go forward, because I know some of you are just gonna click out just because you hear the word God. That's a whole nother story, okay? We need to release the religious trauma so that we can reunite with the source within. It's not some white man in the sky with a long beard who's very judgmental. God's source is breath, is love, is life. If you're confused about this, if you want more information about this, How to Find Your Purpose free ebook goes really in depth with this. It's in my bio. Anyways, so God has an intention for literally everybody. There is a specific intention for everybody on this planet. And there's some of us who choose to awaken, and it is very much a choice. Why is it a choice? Because some people can recognize their patterns all day. They can recognize exactly what they're doing wrong, or they can even recognize something that really gives them passion, that makes them feel alive, and they decide to not choose it. They decide to not choose their passion. They decide to not follow what they know is within their heart to follow. They decide to not go on the path that they know feels the best for them. And so, in a sense, those people are not the chosen ones because they are not choosing their path back. But in actuality, we all have an intention, we all have a path, but it starts to get really fun. It starts to get really full, really vibrant, really colorful. Life starts to get really colorful when you decide to choose your path back, okay? Now, say you're here, you've made the decision, you have decided to, okay, I know my purpose, I know what I really want to be here to do, or what I really want to do on this planet. I know what lights me up, and I'm choosing to choose my path back, right? It's a relationship, it's this dance with source. When you decide to choose your path back, you will go through an initiation into your purpose, okay? You will literally go through an initiation into your life's purpose and the intention for your life. That initiation many times looks like, well, actually, let me back up a little bit. We all have continuously been initiated into our life's purpose, but it is only a very few amount of us who will choose the path to continue to go on that is actually going to be ours, and not the path that society has really influenced us to choose. And so when you decide to choose your path, you can see all the initiations that have happened up until this point, and there will continue to be initiations, okay? Now, what are those initiations looking like, right? Those initiations look like an initiation into faith, an initiation into trust, an initiation into authenticity, an initiation into no longer people pleasing, an initiation into full confidence, an initiation into your own voice and your own power, an initiation into your pleasure, okay? And many times that looks like the exact opposite of whatever you are trying to learn. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be tested. You are going to be really pulled through this level of, or this space of the exact opposite. If you are being initiated into your voice, you will be given circumstances and situations that will try to silence you. If you are being initiated into your own power, you'll be continuously given circumstances and situations that will try to pull your power away from you. If you're being initiated into your authenticity, you will be given situations and circumstances that will be very tempting for you to say yes to, even though you know that you are not truly in alignment with it. And so there are many initiations that begin to happen when we step into our purpose. But if I were to tell you literally anything at this moment, is that there is one thing that can make everything easier. Okay, there is one thing that can make this entire process so seamless. And that is unapologetic expression. Hear me out. I know you was about to click out the video again. Come back to me. Okay, that is unapologetic expression. Whatever you are suppressing is stopping you. Now, how is this all interconnected? How is this all interwoven? I need you to understand a couple things. This life, whatever you are observing, this reality around you, you've heard this before, but I'll say it again, it is literally a simulation. It is a careful product of your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your focus, what you choose consistently. All of these things come together to then create your reality experience. You have created your reality on many different levels, but especially right now. Because if you're here right now, then you have at least begun the process of fully waking up. And so with that being said, you know, when we understand that we're the creators of our life experience, then we can also understand that our reality is a lot more malleable than we think. And similarly to what I said in the last video, life will bring you what you are, not what you desire. Your life and your reality will continue to reflect what you hold within, not just the beliefs, not just the thoughts, but also the feelings. And so as you start to go on your path of your purpose and your passions and really being initiated into the intention that God has for you, God wants you. Source wants you to fully show up on that path. Not the version of you that you think that other people will like, not the version of you who you've been told to be. God wants you to show up fully on that path, because it is only when you show up with all of your quote unquote flaws, with all of the things, right? It's only when you show up that the things that really are for you can actually find you. And until then, they're literally looking for you, because those blessings have a match, and that match is you. But if you're not being you, then the blessings literally cannot match with you. They're not in resonance with you. And so when you decide to stop suppressing anything, now I mean anything. Now let's also, don't take my words out of context and start, doing things that are absolutely destructive and ridiculous. We're not talking about that. We are talking about your expression. We're talking about your voice. We're talking about your power. We're talking about your creativity. We're talking about all the things within your heart that you've always wanted to say, or always wanted to create, or always wanted to express. When you decide to do those things, when you decide to say those things, when you decide to create those things, and when you decide that in your reality situation and simulation, that there is going to be no one who is going to dictate what you say or express or how you present yourself, you then amplify your own home frequency. And in that amplification of your home frequency, your life, all the blessings that are meant to be in your life start to literally be magnetized towards you. Things start coming to you that you never thought could happen. Opportunities start meeting you in a way that you thought was impossible. And this is literally because you are beginning to fully and completely and totally be yourself. Whatever you are suppressing is stopping you. It's stopping you on all levels. And if you're watching this video right now, and I know that you have this call within you to start to step into your purpose and your passion a lot more. But if you're watching this video and you're thinking about it like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna go all the way in. I'm gonna just take the leap. Babe, take the leap. But also, I wanna invite you in and ask, can you take the jump right now? What do I mean by this? The very small things in your life that may have called you to be truthful or more authentic or more honest, the very small things that you do on a day-to-day basis, how can you choose that unapologetic expression with the smallest things? As you take that leap, how can you choose that unapologetic expression in the moment to moment, in the everyday. Now, this is as small / as big as, you know, saying your mind at, you know, at every point in time that you can, every opportunity, literally using every opportunity as a chance for embodiment. The text that you send, how you show up in phone conversations, those small / big things. Can you commit to authenticity? Can you commit to honest expression? Can you commit to truth in those small moments as you are taking that big leap? If you're a content creator, when you're making a video, when you're, you know, just showing up, can you commit to not changing your voice? Maybe some of us have a tendency, especially women, we have a tendency of, you know, changing our voice when we're speaking about certain things or whatever the case is. Can you commit to your authentic voice? Even when you're at the restaurant and you're asking, excuse me, can I get the check? We're not doing that in a high-pitched voice to seem less intimidating or disturb people less, or whatever kind of societal programming that we have going on within. Can you commit to saying these things in your real voice? Can you commit to being truthful in every moment? Can you commit to fully showing up? It doesn't matter who is in front of you, doesn't matter what is going on. Can you commit to that? And when you start to commit to that, you start to see that things begin to be unveiled to you, things begin to be revealed to you that are a match for your authenticity. Now, I want to ask you another question. As you move with consistency, as you start to pick yourself and and choose your truth, and, you know, put that choice at the top of everything, as you continue to choose that over and over and over again, can you maintain faith? Not just faith in yourself, but also faith that the universe and that God will continue to bring you more and more people that will match that authenticity. See, this is the part that a lot of people get tripped up on. Take a sip of water for just one moment here. This is the part that a lot of people start to get tripped up on, is they decide, right? I'm going to say the thing. I'm going to do the thing. Why is it not working for me? Why is it not working for me? Number one, I want to ask you 2 questions. Yes, I'm asking you a lot of questions here in this video, but just stick with me. I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Number one, whatever you're being consistent with, are you being 100% authentic with that consistency? If you're showing up 100% raw and truthful and honest, is that actually coming through in every single thing? Or are sometimes, you know, that expression 100% and sometimes it's 50% and sometimes it's 70% and sometimes it's 90%? Are you showing up 100% truthfully and authentically in every moment? That's number one. Number two, are you allowing the flower to bloom? Okay, what do I mean by that? Are you giving, number one, you're planting that seed of truth. Are you giving that seed of truth time to grow enough to witness the flower bloom? Are you willing to recognize this season as a season of growing your authenticity, of growing your truth, of no longer suppressing anything? And a lot of us, we look for that flower, we look for that fruit automatically. Well, I'm doing this. I'm listening to this damn video from this damn mermaid girl on YouTube, and you're like, why aren't the things coming? Why is the reality not coming? Are you willing to recognize that this is not the season of receiving? This is the season of planting. This is the season of watering. This is the season of consistency. Are you willing to recognize that it takes a moment for your reality to start to shift? Are you willing to recognize that it takes a moment for your blessings to speed up and start coming to you a little bit faster? Are you willing to recognize that you have pushed away up all these things and all these blessings up until this point, and they have to start to find their way back to you? Are you willing to recognize that it's going to take a moment for things to begin to acclimatize? Can you recognize that you're being initiated into faith at this moment in time, that you're being initiated into trust at this moment in time, that you're being initiated into really restoration of your own confidence at this moment in time? Are you willing to really realize and understand that you are creating your new foundation at this moment in time, and these things will take time? Why? Because your entire vibration is beginning to shift. You have stepped out of this season of suppressing. You have stepped out of this season of inauthenticity. You have stepped out of this season of no longer being aligned with your truth. And now what's beginning to happen, my love, is literally every cell in your fucking body is shifting. It's turning. The emotions are being released. The energy is being released. That shit is changing. It is changing. And so as every cell changes in your body, of course it's going to take time. Of course it's going to take time. But we begin to condense time and timeline jump by staying consistent and devoted to the stage that we are birthing, by seeing every single thing around us as evidence that the fruit is coming, that the flower is blooming. That's exactly what this is. It's not a test, it's a reacclimation. It's not a test, it's a recalibration. It's not a test. Everything around you is just beginning to shift. Can you keep that patience long enough for these things to truly start to shift? Can you? Or are you gonna quit? Are you gonna quit because you can't see that plant starting to burst open from the surface? It's growing from the soil. It's growing, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. And you're not seeing that plant bud up yet, but literally if you were to unearth it right now, you would see that there is growth here. There is growth here. There are seasons in which you will need to water your intention. And you will need to tend to the new life that you're beginning to create. And then there are also seasons that you will be able to bear the fruit of your harvest, pick the fruit of your harvest, right? Are you willing to be initiated into patience? Are you willing to be initiated into trust? Now, I want to ask you, and I made a TikTok about this, and I made an Instagram post about this, and all that kind of stuff. I just want to ask you, if you're not seeing change, are you 100% committed? Now, I'm talking about every action. I'm talking about every flying thought that comes through your head. I'm talking about every feeling. I'm talking about every thought. Everything. Are all of these things 110,000% in alignment with your desire? Are you even letting a thought about it can't work even land in your mind? Are you even allowing a feeling of it's not here to cement in your body? Are you committing? Are you deciding to devote every feeling, every cell, every thought, every belief, everything that you possibly can? Are you willing to commit to it? Are you willing to align all of these things as much as humanly possible to your desire? Are you willing to see everything in your reality as evidence that your desire is on its way? Are you willing to shift? Are you willing to shift? It's easy. It's so easy to give up. It's so easy to give up, right? That's maybe why you're here, because you've given up in some way. You've given up on your passion, on your purpose. You've given up on the desire. You need a little extra push. I want to remind you that every opportunity, every moment rather, is an opportunity for a shift. Every moment is an opportunity for embodiment. Every moment is an opportunity for realignment. And the only thing that is stopping you from making that shift, that's stopping you from realigning, that's stopping you from shifting into your desire, is the belief that there's no way that that desire is actually trying to find you now. Is the belief that there's no way that that manifestation is trying to match with you now. That's the only thing. That's exactly the work that we do in the creation container, and embrace, and hidden divinity, all the things. That's exactly the work that we do. We really look at the subconscious and we say, okay, what in my mind has tried to tell me? And you can answer this question for yourself. And maybe this is a journal question for you today. What in my mind has tried to tell me that there's no way that I can have this, that there's no way that this desire is trying to find me right now? Maybe it's some belief that I'm not the type of person who can receive this. I'm not the type of person who can be this. I'm not the type of person, whatever. I want to tell you that we are all the chosen ones, but the ones who really initiate themselves into that feeling and that power of knowing that they are the chosen one are those who choose their path back. Stay with me. Are you going to choose your path back? Are you going to decide to choose your path back? Similarly to when you're in a really good ass relationship. And I talked about this on Patreon, but I'll talk about it here. Being in a healthy relationship many times is harder than being in a toxic one. Because when you're in a healthy relationship and you have somebody who is choosing you every day, regardless of some of the things that you may be working out, regardless of trust issues, regardless of issues of vulnerability, right? They still show up and they say, I love you. And I'm not giving up on you. And I know that I'm going to have grace for you. And I see you. It's hard to be in that healthy relationship because then it forces you to also see yourself. It forces you to also choose yourself. Not just the relationship, but also choose yourself. There's no tug and pull back and forth. There's just simply the love. And that decision to either choose that love and to choose that vulnerability and to choose that openness or not. And that's why it's hard for many of us to really stick with our purpose. Because the thing is, our purpose is always choosing us. Similarly to that beautiful, unconditional love relationship, that purpose is always choosing us at every point, at every moment in time, right? The purpose is always here. But the question is, are you going to choose it back, right? Are you going to choose it back? Are you going to decide to commit to it? Are you going to decide to show up vulnerably and openly and express and create? Your purpose is always here for you to choose. And just like that toxic relationship where y'all keep going back and it's a situationship and y'all doing X and Y and Z and not talking and there's no love there. There's just trauma. And it's easy to be in that toxic relationship because you get the highs and lows of the passion, and then I get to run away and run away from my problems, and then I'm never going to actually commit for many people. Right? You're committing to the chaos and not the calm. Sometimes it's easier to commit to the chaos because that's all you know. Similarly to how our society tries to reprogram us into submission, is convincing us that the chaos will be all that we know. So sometimes it's hard for us to choose that calm. But there is going to be this wave of calmness, of peace that comes over you when you decide to stop suppressing what is within you. And it's hard to choose it at first. It's scary to choose it at first. But the more and more that you decide that you are going to choose yourself and your authenticity, the easier and easier it will be for you to live in that space. Because guess what? In that space of authenticity, in that space of truth is calm because there's nothing to hide. Take a sip of water. Are you done? That's my last question. I know I asked so many questions in this video, but are you done with suppressing? Are you done with choosing chaos? Are you done with living this life that really is not in alignment with you? Can you choose? Can you decide to choose yourself? Can you decide to choose your truth? Can you decide to choose your authenticity? Can you decide? And you committing to that will shift everything. It's easy Just the choice is hard. The process is easy, just the choice is hard. When you choose to see everything in your life as evidence that the desire is manifesting, just that choice is hard. After that, it's easy. I promise you that. After that, it's easy. I love you. Thank y'all for being here. Did not expect my last YouTube video to go up like that, but I'm so grateful. God is amazing. We're gonna have to talk about decolonizing your relationship with God. I know a lot of people getting a little triggered by me even saying that word, y'all. We're gonna talk about that. So yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.